What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode. Dingers with the boys. That's boys with a Z.
Yep, episode 21.
That was 22.
22.
I think last week was 21.
Yep. We made the same mistake last week.
Exactly. Yeah. We had Crazy Steve on last week. Thanks again for being
awesome
with us.
having him on.
It was a good time. Definitely going back and listening. There was a couple things that just like Steven. But no, it was fun. Me and Kyle had a little argument last week, and it's funny because all throughout the week we were arguing about the same stuff about the call and
it's funny, like
and everything.
Even rewatching it, I got heated kind of again because I don't know. I still stand by everything I said. I think Tim is somewhat in the wrong.
We had a comment on one of our Instagram posts that they agree with me, so Kyle can suck it.
I don't know. I feel like as a fan, we're just never ever happy.
I just want consistency. That's my thing. I just want consistency. But anyways, we got a lot this week. We got the WNBA draft coming up, NFL draft in a couple of weeks. Got the NBA playoffs. Final day of the regular season's right now. We finally found out the Nuggets are going to be the number 2 seed. Kind of shot themselves in the foot. They could have had the number 1 seed, but it is what it is. OKC got it. So they'll be the number 2 seed. Minnesota lost to Phoenix today, so they'll go 3 versus 6. It'll be Minnesota and Phoenix, so that'll be a good series. But we'll get the winner of the Pelicans and the Lakers. And so that'll be fun. But we have all of the play-ins right now. So the East, it's Miami at Philadelphia and Atlanta at Chicago. And then the Atlanta at Chicago, whoever wins that will play the loser of the Miami-Philadelphia game. Do you think one of those, do you think Chicago or Atlanta could beat Miami or Philly?
No, I don't think so. Sure. I think the East is basically 7-8, whether that be Miami at 7, Philly 8, or vice versa. But
I think did New York get this 2 seed?
Yeah.
I think it's for sure now. And so I wonder because there's a big difference between New York and Boston playing. And so, but all right, do you still got to play so that game, Philly and Miami, I'm sure either of them will want to play New York.
Well, it's going to be interesting because Miami beat Boston last year. So
exactly.
If it ends up the same, there's no given that Boston will win.
Yeah. I would love to see Miami win the first one and then Philly Boston. And it kind of sucks for Boston because they have been record-wise the best team by far.
Yeah.
And so that would kind of suck to get Philly coming back with Embiid coming back. As much as we hate them, they definitely are a completely different team. They're a top 3-4 team in the East for sure.
Honestly, if I was Boston right now, I'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah.
It's hey, we're the number 1 seed, but we either have to face Miami or Philly first round.
Which Miami last year, they were down too. But it was Philly, they're not a 7-8 seed.
Yeah. I guess Boston, they're hoping that Atlanta or Chicago can win. But
but I think they can beat anybody. And then in the West, we got the Lakers at the Pelicans and then the Warriors at the Kings. Winner of the Warriors-Kings plays the loser of that Pelicans-Lakers. Lakers jumped up into that 8th seed. They were them and the Warriors were kind of going back and forth at 9 and 10. The Kings, what has happened?
I don't know. They kind of fell apart for the longest time. They were that
4
number
seed,
6
right?
seed.
I think they were 4 even for a little while, right?
Yeah.
And so now they're dropped down to the 9, and so they have to win 2 games just to get into the playoffs, and that's going to be against the Warriors and either the Lakers or the Pelicans. That's tough. As a Nuggets fan, I kind of like the 2 seed right now, actually. We could have taken the 1 and stuff, and I'm fine with that as well, but I'm all right playing the Pelicans or the Lakers. I'd rather play the Pelicans if I had to say, and I think the Lakers would tire us out more. I still think we would beat the Lakers. I just think it would be a harder series for us personally. However, Zion has been playing crazy good all of a sudden.
He has, but
and so
he's going to be up against Aaron Gordon. So
exactly. Yep.
So I don't know.
So it'll be fun though.
I think this Western side, honestly, all 4 of those teams, I could see making it. I can't really. It's not like the East where it's a really uphill battle for Atlanta and Chicago. I could honestly see Golden State as the 10 being that 8 seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like, it's crazy to look at the two differences between the Eastern and Western Conference this year. But man, it's been a crazy year. Yeah,
so do you
should be
think?
fun.
Do you honestly think any of those Western Conference teams can beat either the OK? I think all of them could beat OKC. I know OKC is the number 1 seed. They earned it. They deserved it. I don't think any of those teams can beat the Nuggets.
Well,
do you think any of those teams can beat the Thunder? Who do you think matches up the best against the Thunder on that?
I think the Lakers. Just because imagine the playoff experience that the Lakers have compared to
or
OKC,
the Warriors too,
or the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But I do think OKC matches up better against the Warriors. Not by much, but
yeah,
I think any 4 of those are going to be a tough match for OKC. Oh, yeah. It's not going to be a
honestly the playoffs are really wide open. Yeah. I do think the Nuggets still have to be the favorite coming out of the Western Conference, but I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch the play-ins. I don't think there's any one matchup that's just oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. And I would think that would be with the Celtics, but the way it ended up, that's not how it is. I guess maybe you could say Milwaukee, and I think they're playing. Is it Orlando?
They play
or the Pacers.
The Pacers. Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. It's just
that should be a good one because that was the in-season tournament.
Yeah, true.
Final. So that's a rematch of that. So
yeah. So that's kind of exciting.
But yeah, I think all the matchups look pretty good.
I'm excited. So we'll see. Hopefully the Nuggets can get it done. Do you want to go into our simulation just because we're talking about playoffs and stuff? We can talk about our simulation right now.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because this is to go to the finals. We're in our final 4. We had the 85-86 Celtics play the 91-92 Bulls, and then the 2014-15 Warriors play the 15-16 Warriors on the West. Yes. And so on the East, we had I know we know who won already. Yeah. Were you surprised about that? Let's not say who won, but were you surprised?
I was a little surprised just because of the talent that both those teams had. I thought Chicago definitely had a little bit higher.
A lot of these players on these teams too played against each other. Not obviously those years, they were in different primes and stuff.
They were close enough.
Exactly. A lot of these players have played against each other. I wasn't surprised because I told you last week, you know, I was like, hey, should we say it?
Yeah, let's say it.
Larry Legend, man. He freaking took him. He's into the ship. The Boston Celtics, they won in 6 games against 91 with Jordan. Pippen was on that team. They didn't have Dennis Rodman at that time. He was on the Pistons.
Yep.
So I think that could have definitely helped big time.
It seemed like rebounding was huge for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Larry Bird in the series, he averaged 11.1, and then Robert Parrish averaged 9.7. So
which is huge. And you see Scottie Pippen was 7 rebounds, Jordan was 5. I mean, they had some more points, but dude, they just got it done, I think they probably worked as a better team to the Celtics, honestly. But I just, I hope I've been saying it for a while now. I hope that 85-86 Celtics can get it done.
It was cool to see 3-point shooting was very drastic compared to our other matchup. Both shot pretty poorly, and both shot not many threes. It was mostly 2-point field goals.
It'll be interesting because at that time, the 3, you had the 3, but it wasn't as big of a deal.
Yep.
Now, with these Warriors teams, it was a massive deal. And so it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. But I don't even know who won in the Warriors one. So it was the 14-15 versus the 16-17.
Yeah, so the biggest differences between those two teams in 2016, Golden State had Kevin Durant.
Yep.
In 14, they didn't. They still were just rocking with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond.
And Andre Iguodala.
Do you have a guess of which team won?
Let's see. I would say Durant. That's
Yep.
like the Durant team, the 15
You'd
or
be
the 16,
correct.
17.
It was pretty close. It did
Was
go
it?
to 7 games, but
Okay.
the 2016 Golden State team did win, and the biggest reason I think was Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge because who is going to guard
Yeah.
him? Like, obviously, he
Yep.
can't guard himself. It's kind of crazy because, like, Steph Curry is guarding Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson's probably guarding Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Draymond Green might have been guarding KD, but
Exactly.
it's kind of
you just don't know. Like Kevin Durant averaged 20.4 points per game, where Klay Thompson averaged 21. So they're actually like pretty similar in the like series, but Kevin
I'm sure
Durant
KD probably did a lot more rebounding, length.
Yep.
Maybe not the assist.
I was going to get to that. So Kevin Durant in the series averaged 8.4 rebounds. In 2 games, he had a double-double. 1 game, he had 16 rebounds.
KD did?
Yep.
Yeah. And so he's just so big that it's like, all right, I know Draymond thinks he can handle it with all these guys, but when it's that big, it's just, it's hard for him. Because by the time he even jumps, they have to jump like half the amount, and they're already over him.
And like KD is virtually unguardable just because of his wingspan and his length. And even if you do have a hand in your face or his face, like he's still able to just shoot right over you. So but it'll be interesting. So in the final, you got the 1985 Boston Celtics versus the 2016 Golden State Warriors. I think,
dude, I'm going Celtics, man. I've been riding them for a while. I got to go with them. I got to stay with them. What do you think?
I would love for the Celtics to win, but I think what I've seen with these simulations is 3-point scoring is a huge impact. So, which that's not necessarily saying that the Warriors are the better team. I just think running a simulation in today's era,
that's 30 years difference. It's a huge difference. And so I'm excited to see it, see how it is. There's definitely been some things that have changed that I didn't think, but it's been fun. So let us know what you guys think. If you guys are following along this, I know some of you guys are, but let us know what you're like kind of thinking and stuff. But staying kind of with basketball, WNBA draft is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Caitlin Clark.
Oh, yeah.
She's going 1. We are going to do our pick with this. I think we should just do it now.
Sure.
Okay, because I want to talk about it. Yeah. So one of our game picks this week, it's not actually going to be a game. It's going to be who's the number 2 overall pick in the WNBA draft. I already know who I'm going to pick. So Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's going to the Indiana Fever. They had the first overall last year. And so, that could be interesting. But so she's going to go there for sure. There's no way. Second is the LA Sparks. Mm-hmm. They actually have the 2nd and the 4th pick.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy. Do you want me to say mine first? I already know, no matter who you say, I know who I'm going to pick. So do you want to say yours first?
Sure, you can say yours first. I'm hoping we have different people, but I don't know.
So mine, I think they're going to get a power forward. I was kind of thinking Cardoso from South Carolina. However, I don't she played really well. I don't necessarily know if it's going to translate as much, and I don't think the Sparks are going to pick her.
Yeah.
I think they're going to let her. If she ends up being there at 4, maybe. I don't think she will. I think she's going to go number 3 to the Chicago Sky. But number 2, I think, is going to be Cameron Brink from Stanford. That's she's been playing good all year. It's kind of weird because nobody really hears about her because Stanford, they were all right, they did good, but it wasn't like Caitlin Clark, or it wasn't South Carolina being completely undefeated, or even UConn with Paige Beckers, she's kind of came back, and they also have Aliyah, I can't remember how to say her first name, Aliyah Edwards for UConn. She'll be in the draft as well. So, but yeah, I think Cameron Brink, I think she's going to be a stud. I think she's definitely kind of going under the radar per se, but I think she's going to go number 2.
We do have something different.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the same.
Yeah.
Dang it.
You did bring up the person I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Cardoso. Cardoso. My bad.
Yep.
I just think her height is going to be really desirable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brink is maybe a little bit more two-way.
What do you have their heights right there? I wonder how big
Brink
the
is
difference.
6'4", and Cardoso is 6'7".
Okay, so that's could be a big difference
Yep.
for sure. Okay.
But I think,
I'm glad we have something different because I thought we
yeah,
were gonna have something do the
I'm
same.
just gonna go. I think there's gonna be some shakeup. I've never watched a
Okay.
WNBA draft. I won't get to tomorrow. I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah, it's
But
funny because I've never watched one like completely through. I've watched here and there
yeah,
a little bit, but I've never watched one completely through.
I mean, if it's anything like NBA mock drafts and like NFL and all these mock drafts are never close, really, when it comes to who people pick. So I'm hoping that there is a lot of
some
shakeups
and
and
stuff. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
But
how crazy would it be if Caitlin Clark didn't get picked first overall?
that would be,
I know it's gonna happen, but how
yeah, that'd be insane.
that would be the news of
Oh,
the
yeah.
year right there.
Oh, yeah.
That would be insane.
That would be insane.
But I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Some other notables would be Angel Reese.
Yep.
I have her going to number 8 to Chicago.
Mhm.
I think she's going to go there, which would be really crazy because I think Cardoso is going to go 3 to Chicago. Well, I don't think they get like along that great, so that'll be interesting. In the first 12, first round, there's only 12 picks.
Mhm.
The Aces who won it the last 2 years, they don't have a first round. They have number 16th overall. That's their first. Not sure who, like, if it'll be even that big of an impact player, honestly. I think their core is pretty set.
I agree.
I do think that Quay Miller from CU,
Yep.
she'll probably go late second round, early third, would be my guess. And I think she could possibly go to like Connecticut Sun, the New York Liberty, or like the Aces, which would be kind of cool just to see like a CU girl get up there.
I saw Quay Miller in a mock draft getting taken early second round, actually, with the Aces. And then I also saw
it would be that 16th overall.
Sherrod.
That's what I was
She
just
was
going to bring
also
up.
in the mock draft. So.
Man, it's so interesting because I think at the beginning of the season, before the season, people are like, maybe like late or something but probably won't get drafted. And then in the middle of the season, people were talking about her early second round, like the way she was playing. And I'm not saying she didn't play like good, but it was like she definitely tapered off a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I think she'll probably be late third.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think the thing that
early fourth
didn't help Sherrod is just the level of talent, I guess, that CU had. It wasn't always just, hey, one person is scoring all the points or doing everything. It's, hey, it could be this girl, this girl, this girl. Like,
well, and that's even like with Quay Miller and stuff too. And then you have like Von Lay, which I don't think she's in the draft. I don't think Von Lay. I think she's going back to CU, I believe. But yeah, Sherrod, it's tough because she'd go off for 30 points, but then the next like game, she'd only shoot it 2 or 3 times because Quay Miller and like Von Lay inside are doing great, or Foreman from the outside, or whoever, and that's where, like you said, it's just kind of like an all-around team, and I think that's what made CU good. Honestly.
And I think that also kind of helps her too, because it's like, hey, I can come in and be a team player, which when you get into second and third round picks, you're not looking for, hey, this is going to be your person, like the star. You're looking who is going to gel out the team, who's going to be that missing puzzle piece that brings us from this level to this level.
Yeah. And it's interesting in the WNBA. I would say the majority of those players picked don't make it ever. Don't really ever make it. But there's some like that, dude. It's just they're so like the NBA has 32 teams, right? Or 30 teams.
30.
30?
Yeah.
So yeah, they have 30 teams, whereas the WNBA has 12.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. But you have the same amount of colleges, girls coming out. And so even just to be drafted is a huge thing. Like, I can't remember exactly how many rounds, but your first
like 3.
I thought there was at least. Is there only 3? Yeah, 36. Maybe. Yeah, I think there is 3. And so that's pretty much a first round in the NBA.
Yeah.
Whereas, all right, so your whole first round plus some is a lottery in the NBA.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot different, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch the whole thing. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I kind of hope there's some shakeup. I would love to hear a couple CU girls,
Yep.
Sherrod and Quay Miller. I'd love to see Angel Reese drop down. I'm not a huge fan of hers. Just
Yeah.
overall, I think.
I do think I think where Brink and Cardoso go is going to hugely affect Angel Reese. I think because they play the same positions and all that, but I think whatever team picks them could impact her.
I think Angel Reese, that is the biggest wild card in this draft, to be completely honest with you. I could see somebody like the Sparks at 4 going for her. Or I could see her drop to late first round or even second round. I could see, it's just, I honestly don't know. Like I said, I think she's going to be around that 8 mark, but I don't know. We'll see, and like you said, it kind of depends. All right, does the Sparks pick Cardoso? Well, then the Sky are probably going to pick Brink. Then they probably wouldn't pick Angel Reese at 8, kind of thing. Yeah. And so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like whoever
those first couple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. I'm sure there'll be a couple trades or something. Like I said, I've never really watched it, so I don't know how it'll be. I've watched a couple here and there, like picks, but nothing crazy. So I'm excited for it, though. Anybody that's listening, let us know what you guys think, if you're gonna watch it or not. What do you think about our picks too? We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna talk NFL draft. I know it's in 2 weeks, but next week we're gonna talk NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of do it a couple weeks ahead, but let us know what you should think. But we're gonna take a break quick. It's Dingers with the boys. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and Twitter. Go give us a follow.
Yeah, like Tim said, if you like the videos that we're putting out, definitely go follow and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. But let's just get back to the show.
Welcome back, guys. We're back from our break. We were talking WNBA draft, play-in games, kind of a little bit about the Nuggets and stuff. But next week, we're going to really go more into those playoffs. It already had started. We'll know who won the play-in games, but we're just excited. We're going to have somebody on, so definitely excited about that. Keep an ear out on that one.
Should be fun
for sure. Could definitely be some fireworks knowing him. But we're going to talk NFL draft. No, we're about a week and a half early, but like I said, we want to focus on NBA playoffs next week. So, first overall, Chicago Bears. They're obviously going to pick Drake May.
That would be wild.
Yeah, Caleb Williams doesn't get picked.
That would be
first
insane.
Overall. It would remind me of Draft Day. Remember the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner and who was it? Bo Callahan.
He
was like, "Oh, he's the number 1." All this, and then he drops to number 7 or whatever. And so,
I don't think
would be hilarious
if Caleb Williams does not go number 1. Definitely, he's going number 2.
Washington. There's no way, right?
I wouldn't think so, especially what Chicago has done.
All the moves
this
they've
offseason and what they're doing. They're definitely picking a quarterback, but I don't see them picking anybody else because
their fans would be so mad if they did not pick Caleb Williams.
But it's I kind of see these top 3 teams. It's kind of like a toss-up of who is going to be the best.
Chicago,
it's kind of like
Washington,
how last year was. It's last year, you had Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. I thought there was one more, but maybe I can't.
Anthony Richardson? No.
Maybe he was up
later.
There. No, he was kind of up there, but
yeah.
But it was Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud were hey, those are your top 2 guys, and then it was a minor drop off. This year it's just, hey, you have 3 top guys, and then a little bit of a drop off. But I mean, I think.
Do you think all 3 of them are taking QBs? The Chicago Bears 1, Washington Commanders 2, New England Patriots
I think the
3.
only one that I could be a minor shakeup is New England, and that's only if they decide to trade that pick.
Mm-hmm.
If they decide
with a new QB, with a new coach.
Yeah.
But they need a QB.
They do.
You know, honestly, I would say out of these 3 teams, now that Chicago's traded Justin Fields, out of the 3 teams, the Washington Commanders Sam Howell played pretty good.
Yeah, but
honestly.
I still think Washington is still needing a quarterback.
Yeah, but like, out of these three, I think they
need him less.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're gonna pick Drake.
But it's kind of funny though, because they're maybe the least team that needs a quarterback, but I feel like in preparation of the draft, they've been the most like, hey,
talking about
100,000% they're drafting a QB.
Yep. And I think it's gonna be Drake May. I know a lot of people are high on Jaden Daniels too.
Yeah.
But those two I could see switching.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy has gotten a lot of talk lately, and so could he possibly hop into one of those spots? That 2-3 spot, you think?
Top 3, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Where do you think he's going to go? Because we got the Patriots, then 4 Arizona, 5 Chargers, 6 Giants. Maybe the Giants.
I don't know. I think the Giants are definitely a wild card.
7 is Titans, 8's Falcons, 9's Bears,
yeah,
10 Vegas, 11 Minnesota, 12
Denver
Broncos.
Yes. I think Giants are the biggest wild card this draft, but only if Minnesota does not trade up to that 5. I know a big thing in every single mock draft.
A lot of people, right? They said that
with Arizona.
They could even Arizona.
I've even seen Denver possibly trading up to 4, which
it's weird because Minnesota and Denver, those two, everybody's like, oh, one of these teams is going to trade up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Broncos are at 12, Minnesota's at 11. Yep. So if they don't trade up, Minnesota picks before them.
Yeah.
Before the Broncos, so 11 picks before the Broncos, how many QBs do you think are going to be picked?
How many I think should be picked?
How many do you think are going to be picked? Not should be, going to be picked.
I think 4. I think.
So you think those 3 and then JJ McCarthy is your 4th, you think?
Yeah.
You don't think Bo Nix or Penix Jr. are going to
I don't think so. I think that would be too early in the draft to pick one of those guys. Not saying that they're not good, but just it seems like a really risky play drafting those guys, even in like the first round, I think. So drafting them top 10, I think would be absolutely crazy, unless I
said top 11
team or top 11.
I'm just kidding.
But unless a team has watched those guys, their film, and just absolutely loves them and thinks
be a team.
Hey, this is the next Tom Brady, then I don't know.
It's interesting because I feel like a couple months ago, JJ McCarthy, he was definitely out of those 6, he was 6th. He was dropped.
Yeah,
and then the way his pro day and everything went, it definitely moved up. I think there's going to be 5. I think Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, and then I think Bo Nix is going to get picked. And that's in the top 11. And that doesn't, there could be some trades or anything. I think, the Broncos might move in.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be top 11. I think 5 QBs are going to be picked.
Yeah.
And that brings me to, my next thing. And we've talked about this a little bit. The Broncos are number 12. Do we take a QB? Do we not? Does it depend on which QB is there?
Yeah.
Say JJ McCarthy's there at 12. Do you pick him?
I'd take him at 12.
Okay.
For sure.
Bo Nix?
No.
Okay. Penix Jr.?
No.
And then obviously the top 3 you'd pick.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the Broncos don't pick a QB, do you think they should go defense, offense? What do you think?
I think we need it all.
Well, are we about to argue some more? Because I know we were talking about this yesterday, and we definitely were.
I think if we draft a quarterback, if it's Bo Nix or Penix, I think that's the worst move we could make.
If it's the first round, if
we're at number 12, unless we move up or we move down. If we move down, I would love those guys.
Still in the first round?
Yeah. If we move down to late first round, I'm thinking if we move down to under
20s or something, upper 20s.
It's if we move down to that, then I could see it. But the thing that I was arguing with you the other day is the Denver Broncos. They are so far away from winning anything.
Yeah, but
besides just a quarterback.
See, so you said you're why pick a QB because you're so far? It's not like you're just a QB away. However, if you think that one of these guys is going to be your franchise QB, you have to take him. It doesn't matter if it's the first overall, 10th overall, 12th, 20th, whatever. If you truly believe that, you have to take him. It doesn't matter if that's in 4 years that you're playing good, but if you think this guy, hey, all right, this guy's the next Peyton Manning. All right, we're not going to be competitive for the next 3-4 years. That doesn't mean that you're just going to okay, we're going to let somebody else draft the next Peyton Manning or John Elway or whatever, That's what I'm saying. And so I get what you're saying. You're like, well, we need so much more.
Yeah.
But the number one position on the football field that's like the most important is the QB. And if you actually think you can get your franchise QB here, you have to take it.
Yeah, but that's where I think like so many teams just stay in this bubble of sucking because they just roll the dice every single year of, hey, we think this is our guy. It's like you thought the last 5 guys were your guys.
Yeah, but
like the Giants have done that for years.
Well, and that's the problem because you don't know though. It's not like you can be like, oh, hey, this guy's not good or whatever. But you don't know that about even a defender or a wide receiver
I just think,
or anything.
But you just miss out on so many other skilled position players. Like you could just bolster your defense and be like, all right, we might suck on offense, but we're going to be the best defense or a top 10 defense. It's like,
yeah, but you still need that QB.
But then like it's not like drafting a QB is the only way of getting a QB.
It's not, but it's the least. It's the cheapest to get a.
Imagine
your top QB. It's the cheapest way to go.
Imagine this for Denver though. We bolster our defense. We get like a wide receiver or something. And then next year, we go trade for a guy like Justin Fields.
Yeah, but what are you trading for? Because what if he ends up having a great year or something? And if
he might even play.
I know, but if he ends up at say Justin Fields, I think we should have tried to get him this year, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know money's a huge thing too. But my thing is in the draft, and this is it's all for chance, and that's for every single position. Like Adunze, for example, who knows? I think he's going to be a stud, but he might be completely terrible. There's always stuff. I feel like in the NFL, they're usually at least especially those first picks. It's all right, they're decent. Maybe not. We shouldn't have drafted them at that.
Yeah,
but I agree with you, but I don't at the same time because I think we need a ton more. But like I said, it all depends. I would love to be a fly on the wall in there because I don't think that there are franchise QB.
Yeah.
However, how much film have you watched on Penix or Bo Nix?
I mean, none because I'm not a scout.
Well, and that's
I'm not that person. But
and that's where how many games even have you watched of theirs?
We watched the.
That's the only one I've watched as well. Yeah. That's the only one I watched.
And so, out of the two, I liked Penix.
I personally like Penix too. I don't want us to guard. I don't want us to draft Bo Nix. I like Penix Jr. a lot more. I think he's just more mature as well. I think he can go to the NFL a lot better. But that's where, if these guys are hey, that's why they get paid. No, this is exactly what we want. He fits our system. This is what we want. Yeah. Not just for next year. This is who we want for next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you draft a QB, honestly, when you're drafting anybody, but specifically a QB, this is our guy the next 10 years. And obviously, not everyone's going to
I still just don't know if it's really worth it because, all right, look at it like this. It's say Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May all have a 50% chance of being a really good quarterback in the NFL. And then J.J. McCarthy goes down to 40%. If Bo Nix and Penix are at a 20% or a 25%, it's why are you taking that risk? It seems like you have a really good chance of just completely wasting your first pick.
I mean, you can, but that's on any player. That's really any player.
But I think the impact, because it's a quarterback and that's the most important position, is that much more drastic. All
right, so say Bo Nix is there or whatever. Okay,
yeah.
We don't draft Bo Nix. He goes 13, 14, or say he goes 13 to the Jets. Okay, Aaron Rodgers plays one more year, then he's the guy. And he ends up just killing it. well, would you kick yourself for not guarding or drafting him then?
No.
It's like,
'Cause
man,
like,
but
you
that's
didn't
our
know.
that's our Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but
That's
you
what I'm
didn't know
saying.
that.
Well, you don't know that on any of them though.
It's like also like
That's the same thing with like the NBA draft that we talked.
yeah.
And it's like, I mean, Anthony Bennett from UNLV got picked number 1 overall a few years ago by Cleveland. What in the world was that? Everybody's like, oh, he's going to be like probably mid-20s. The way he played shouldn't even have been mid-20s. He shouldn't even have got drafted. So it's like, you never know on any of these. But
I don't know.
I think that somebody got fired there too.
Probably.
All right. First round, how many QBs do you think are going to get picked then?
I think 6.
So you think those 6?
I think all 6 of them will probably get picked.
The one that I could see possibly dropping out, I could see Michael Penix Jr. dropping down.
I can see that.
That's what I would love for the Broncos to get. And like I said, I agree with you. And I think especially if there's 5 QBs, say there's 5 QBs before the Broncos pick, that opens it up where some of these guys that should have been the 2-3 pick drop down.
Exactly.
I don't think J.J. McCarthy is also like a franchise QB.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those 3. I could see Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, but I personally don't want us to get a QB either.
Yeah. It's also
I would love like say Odunze would drop down. Would love that, Joe Alt for Notre Dame, and maybe it's just because he's Notre Dame, but an offensive tackle that would be. I don't think that any of them will. I personally don't want us to get a defensive guy, and just the moves that we've made, it kind of just would. Honestly, make me a little mad if we drafted QB or defense because we've had a couple of these like really good defensive players, and then we're like, oh no, we're going to cut you. Yeah, and it's like, man, we had these guys. All right, no, we're going to get somebody out of the draft, which we think are going to be good, but we don't know that. We knew these guys are going to be good, and so
I know like Denver has never really been good at drafting ever, but it's also just like we had Stidham and he only played 1 game. It was like, how do you know he's not better than Bo Nix or
like all you never know.
I just don't think like it's worth rolling the dice to say like, oh well, we can get Bo Nix or Penix, and then if he doesn't beat out Stidham in training, then all right, whatever, like so be it. But
I don't know. Like I said, I don't want us to draft. With all I've said, I don't want us to draft the first.
I just think like
I also don't want us to trade up for one of these other guys. Because we need, we need to bolster our draft capital a little bit again. And especially, if you're trading that for somebody that you don't know, I think Russ, I don't think he was that bad, honestly. Yeah. I think he would have been better if Fangio would have stayed that year.
I think that's also a big thing is quarterbacks need the same coach. Like, you can't be changing offenses all the time.
Yeah, and
but it seems like with Sean Payton, we do have that.
Yeah.
At least for a couple of years, hopefully, but
I
think what Atlanta has done this offseason was they've not been good for years. They've been a QB needy team, and now they went and got Kirk Cousins, and now a lot of people are saying that's a Super Bowl contender,
which is crazy.
So it's why can't that be Denver? In a couple of years, I'm not saying it's
just right now. We just don't have the money.
A couple of years, but
it's just right now we don't have the money because of the Russ situation, and that's where Like I said, if you think you have your QB, you got to take him. I don't think it is. I don't think any of them are our QB.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we took QB.
I mean, you're basically saying it like you're Houston, because Houston is basically what they gambled with CJ Stroud. They saw hey, I think this is going to be their guy, and he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the odds of you finding a CJ Stroud or whatever.
I mean, you see that in Russell Wilson too, because everybody was like, when we got Russ, we're back to a Super Bowl contending team. Well, everybody knew how Russ played. Yeah. I just think that our coaches, and like we said, I think they wanted him to do stuff differently than what he is good he's good at. Yeah. Exactly. And so I don't know. It's so frustrating. The Broncos just in general.
It's also you also got to look at our division too. The Chiefs just keep on getting better. Mm-hmm. As long as Mahomes is there, as long as Kelsey is there, they're going to be the toughest team to beat.
The Chargers,
Yeah.
What?
The Chargers, I don't know what they were doing.
really good. And now they have the 5th overall. I could see them
Yeah.
trading, but I could see them because they got rid of Keenan Allen. They'll
Yeah.
probably, if they keep that, they'll probably go after a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there,
Yeah.
definitely. Like if somebody trades Arizona or something, but I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to get
That's-
him, maybe a Dunze, maybe Nabbers from LSU, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's one team where they better get a lot in that package for that 5th pick because they need that pick.
Oh my gosh,
That's
I just don't understand.
it's insane what they've done to fire sale.
I feel like
team.
they just which is weird because they just got a brand new coach and maybe he just didn't like them. I don't know. But we got to talk about our picks too, because like I know we can keep going off the NFL draft and arguing about it and stuff. And I think it's tough because the Broncos just aren't good right now, and so you want them to be good, and so you're just frustrated how the organization is doing it, and so I think that's kind of like adds to your tempers a little bit. But let's do our game picks. Last week was a rough one for me. I guess I didn't. UConn won. They had a good. So I went 1 and 2 because the Lakers Warriors. I picked Lakers. You picked Warriors. Warriors won, and then in Game 3, it was the Guardians versus the Yankees, and it got rained out. So I think we should probably just throw that one out. Honestly,
they did remake the game.
But wasn't it 7 innings? Didn't they play 7 innings the next day?
It's not like that in MLB now.
Oh, it's not
full games. Yeah.
Well, either way, they played 2 games, and it's just I don't know. Maybe we should throw it out.
If anything, they would have been better Game 1, but they ended up losing both.
Yeah.
That Game 1 they did have a chance. So
are we gonna throw that out? That game out?
I would say no. I swear.
I'm just kidding.
So I love the sweep.
Yeah, Kyle went 3-0. I went 1 and 2. So I'm back 2 down after fighting my way back,
dude.
No, we were tied.
Yeah, we were tied.
Yeah, I went 1 and 2. You went 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 2 up on me.
I'll look at the.
Because we were tied last week.
You are correct.
Yeah. So you're 2 up on me. We already have one of our game picks is the WNBA draft, second overall pick. We got 2 different people on that, so hopefully I can win on that one. That would be sweet. And then we have a play-in game, the Lakers at Pelicans, and that's on Tuesday night. A huge game. This is to play the Nuggets. And so, don't know honestly, if it were me, I would much rather play OKC, but you don't want to lose because then what if you lose the next game and you're completely out of the playoffs? And so I think this is going to be a big one. I know you were saying Anthony Davis kind of got hurt a little bit today, possibly some back stuff.
He had like back spasms, which when is Anthony Davis not hurt? But
exactly,
they're extremely hopeful that he'll play, or they're thinking it's a big chance that he will play.
Yeah.
And this would be a crazy game to
there's no
sit.
Way.
Unless he can't walk or something. But
there's no way. Do you want to do your pick first? Or do you want me to do
mine? I'll go first.
Okay.
So all that being said, with Anthony Davis and the Lakers and Pelicans and all that stuff, I think the Pelicans are going to win again. Being the home team, I know it is very hard
LeBron James, man.
I know.
Playoffs.
Lakers won today. It was the last game of the regular season. And I've said it all year. It's very hard to win the same team back to back.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm pretty sure the Pelicans were at home again today.
Today they were?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't see, especially with Davis being somewhat hurt.
Do you remember what the final was today?
I'll look it up.
It's all good. It's not a big deal.
I know it wasn't that close.
So you're thinking the Pelicans are going to get it done?
Yeah.
I'm actually going the opposite. I was kind of like going back and forth, and it's not even about today's game.
Yeah.
It's LeBron in the playoffs. There's no way that he's going to have his team miss the playoffs, and even if they lose, they still have a chance. But he's just a different person. I feel like different player in the playoffs, and this is really to get in the playoffs. He doesn't want to have a all right, one and done kind of thing possibly because you have another chance, but you don't know who you're playing, and then I know he'd probably much rather play OKC as well.
Yeah.
But I think the Lakers are going to get it done. I think they're going to do it, and I think it's going to be a repeat of the Western Conference Finals next year because I think they want to play the Nuggets too.
Yeah.
I think they want to try to prove to themselves, even though we've swept them this year as well. I think they want to try to prove to themselves that they can hang with us, which I don't think they can match up.
It's also like a lot of people are going to be going into the playoffs thinking, hey, Nuggets are the team to beat. If we can beat them, that's like the biggest confidence boost ever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would be huge. So, I think the Lakers are going to go in to New Orleans, win. I think Golden State's going to end up winning against Sacramento. Just they've been killing it. And then I think that Warriors Pelicans game would be that's going to be a nail biter, But anyway, so all right, so we have two different. So I can tie up already. Yeah. Cool. Game 3, we're going to go back to MLB. Texas Rangers at the Atlanta Braves. That's on Friday night's game that we're going to click. I'll go first on this one, just because you went first on that one. I'm going to go with the Braves. It looks like Sale's possibly pitching.
Yep.
I don't know much about the Rangers pitcher, Eovaldi.
Eovaldi, yeah.
Eovaldi. I know I've heard of his name, but I don't like.
Yeah.
And that's where Kyle's going to whoop me probably on baseball, honestly, because I just don't know as many. But I'm going to go Sale. I think the Braves, their bullpen has been pitching really well. I know they had that one really bad game, but other than that, they've been playing really good. And just overall, the Braves are one of the top teams. So I'm going to go the Braves on that one.
I do think you're right there. I'm going to go Atlanta as well. So on the mound, it is Chris Sale, who now becomes Atlanta's ace because Strider is out for the season.
I think that's gonna hurt them in the long run.
But I think that's also kind of why you got Chris Sale. Yeah. Obviously, you don't know that Strider is going to get hurt, but they needed a second really good starter.
Yeah. Which Sale could be. I mean, on the Rockies, he'd be our ace for sure.
Oh yeah,
and so
Sale would be an ace on a lot of teams.
Exactly, and so it's not like you're losing that much. It just stinks because you have two guys that you had as aces, and now it's just one kind of thing.
Eovaldi, I loved Eovaldi last year. I've got him on my fantasy team this year. He was an AL Cy Young finally
as I remember hearing about. I just don't know a crazy amount.
So that's why I picked this game and why I thought it would be a good one to pick because it's ace versus ace.
Yeah.
But Chris Sale being a lefty, Texas do have a lot of lefty batters, and they're big ones like Seager, Carter. They're both lefties, and so I think that's going to be an advantage for Atlanta. And Atlanta just from top to bottom, their lineup is stacked.
Yeah.
And Eovaldi, he's somewhat struggled this season so far, especially versus really good teams. Sale kind of did too. His first start was a little rough, but the second start he was lights out. So
and sometimes you like that and stuff, but their bullpen too. It's like man, they've been playing.
Really and Texas bullpen still sucks.
Yeah, and that's where even if it's going like a 1-1 game going into like the 7th, well, these guys get pulled. I think Atlanta has to.
It could easily turn into a 5-1 game now.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Right, cool. So we got 2 different picks.
Yep.
Hopefully I can go 3-0, catch back up, but we'll see. I'm very confident on my WNBA.
I think you might get me there.
I hope I'm getting it, but I have no idea.
You honestly, watched a lot more college basketball than I did, and but I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I watched WNBA last year, but it's not like I watched a lot of Aces, Liberty, some of the Sun and stuff, but those are the top 2. So I didn't really I don't know a crazy amount about the Sparks.
Yeah.
And so, we'll see, and I know there's been some movement and stuff. So, but that's all we got this week. Hopefully you guys liked it. Next week, our bread and butter NBA. We're going to have a guest.
Yep.
So excited about that. Hopefully we'll be talking about Nuggets' first win.
Yeah.
A little bit about that and just what their championship aspirations what do we think, And so, but hopefully you guys liked it and stuff. Anything else?
As always, let us know if anything we can improve or anything that you guys want us to talk about, or if you just think we're stupid and we got like awful opinions,
Yeah.
let us know. Like,
tell us if we need to cancel our pod. You know? No,
but
maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
We have a blast with it.
It's so much fun. So, but we will see you later, alligators.
Peace.